Picture this for a moment. One of Hollywood's biggest stars, the guy who played Captain Jack Sparrow, the Mad Hatter, and so many amazing characters, now spends his days quietly drawing murals on the streets of London. Sounds crazy, right? But it's real. Johnny Depp, the same guy who used to rule red carpets and movie sets, has given up all that flashy stuff for paintbrushes, sketchbooks, and a simple, peaceful life in London. Yeah, the same Johnny Depp who had everyone watching him for years. Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm so happy you're here. Today, I want to share a story that's both shocking and kind of amazing. It's about how Johnny Depp walked away from Hollywood fame and found something completely different, something real. If you've ever felt tired of craziness, of being judged, or just wanted a fresh start, you're going to love this, because Johnny's story might just make you rethink what happiness really means. All right, let's jump into it. For most of his life, Johnny Depp was the center of attention. You know, the big movies, the flashing cameras, the never-ending interviews. That was his world. He was what everyone thought of when they heard movie star. But fame comes with a cost, right? The constant spotlight, the gossip, the pressure to always be perfect. Imagine living every day knowing the world is waiting for your next move, your next mistake, your next headline. That's a lot for anyone. After years of it, Johnny hit his breaking point. He didn't want to live under that kind of watch anymore. So he made a choice that surprised everyone. He walked away. No big announcement, no drama. He just left. No more Hollywood Hills, no more red carpets, no more fancy movie premieres. Just quiet. But here's the interesting part. Instead of disappearing completely, Johnny changed himself. He didn't want to live in the shadows. He wanted to live freely. You see, Johnny's always been more than an actor. He's a musician, a painter, a poet, an artist in every way. But when you're always filming and traveling, there's not much time to just create for yourself. So when he stepped away from Hollywood, he went back to what made him happiest: art. Real, raw, honest art. In London, he started painting again. Not just on canvases, but murals, sketches, portraits, anything that let him show what he felt. Local people say he often works quietly, fitting in, just another artist doing his thing. Sometimes people walk right past him without knowing who he is. And honestly, he likes it that way. He's even worked with local artists, helped pay for small art projects, and shared his paintings to raise money for charities. His artwork often shows deep feelings: sadness, love, pain, freedom. All the things that come from living a complicated, beautiful, messy life. Can you imagine walking down a quiet London street and seeing Johnny Depp painting a wall mural? It's wild to think about, but for him, it's completely normal now. He swapped the noise of Hollywood studios for the sounds of London streets. Instead of assistants, he's surrounded by sketchbooks and paints. Instead of scripts, he's got blank canvases waiting for color. London seems to fit him. It's calmer, more private. People there usually let famous people live like everyone else. He's been seen in cozy pubs, art galleries, even just walking through markets. He's made friends with local musicians and artists. Sometimes he performs music with them. Other times he just cheers them on. People who meet him say he's kind, quiet, humble, far from the wild movie star image. He's not trying to impress anyone anymore. He's just being Johnny. And you know what's interesting? Even though he stepped away from the spotlight, he seems happier than ever. There's something peaceful about living life on your own terms. For years, people thought fame equals happiness, that if you're rich, loved, and successful, you've made it. But Johnny's story completely changes that idea. It shows that sometimes you can have everything: money, fame, awards, and still feel empty. Because none of that matters if you lose yourself in the process. In interviews, Johnny has suggested that he found peace through creativity, painting, writing, making music. He once said that painting helps him capture feelings words can't. Isn't that beautiful? It's like he's finally living life for himself, not for the cameras. Now, let's take a second to think about what we can actually learn from his change. Because Johnny's story isn't just about a famous person moving to another city. It's about finding out who you are again. So, here are a few lessons we can take away from his journey. First, create to heal. You don't have to be famous or even talented to create something. Art isn't about being perfect, it's about showing how you feel. You could paint, write, sing, or just doodle on paper. It's not about showing others, it's about letting out what's inside. That's what Johnny's doing. He's painting to find peace, not praise. Second, change your surroundings. Sometimes the best way to restart your life is to change where you are. Johnny left Hollywood not because he hated acting, but because he needed a new chapter, a different place, a slower speed, a fresh start. You don't have to move across the world, but maybe changing your space, even rearranging your room, can give new energy. And third, stay grounded. No matter how famous or successful you become, kindness and staying humble never go out of style. Johnny could easily live in a mansion surrounded by fancy stuff, but instead he's blending in, connecting with real people, sharing his art. That says a lot about what truly matters to him now. And here's a little-known fact that shows how deep this goes. Johnny's been quietly helping local art schools and teaching young creative people in London. He doesn't make a big deal about it. There are no press releases, no cameras. He just shows up, shares advice, and encourages them to keep going. He's not chasing attention, he's giving it away. That's powerful because when you think about it, the real measure of success isn't how many people know your name, but how many lives you quietly touch. Johnny's journey also challenges a belief that a lot of us have, that once you reach the top, you can't start over. But life doesn't work that way. You can change yourself anytime. It doesn't matter if you're 25 or 65, it's never too late to begin again. And that's exactly what Johnny did. He traded fame for freedom, noise for peace, expectations for creativity. Now, some might say, but he's Johnny Depp. He can afford to do that. Sure, that's true. But the lesson isn't about money. It's about mindset. He chose to let go of what didn't help him anymore. He chose happiness over image. And that's something anyone can do. Even in interviews, when he's asked about his new life, there's a softness in his voice. He talks more about art, people, and peace than he does about movies. It's like he's found something pure again. The kind of joy you get when you're just being yourself without pressure. It makes you wonder, right? What if we all stopped chasing what we think we're supposed to do and started doing what actually feels right? Johnny's story is proof that you can rewrite your life whenever you want. You can step out of the craziness and find beauty in simplicity. You can walk away from being someone and just be you. So, let me ask you, would you trade a glamorous life for peace and passion? Would you give up attention for being real? It's a tough question, but maybe it's worth thinking about. And I'd love to know what you think. If you were in Johnny's shoes, would you do what he did, or would you stay in the spotlight? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because I love hearing your ideas on stories like this. And hey, if you're enjoying this story of change, you're going to love our next video. It's all about other famous people who walked away from fame and found happiness in totally unexpected ways. It's honestly one of my favorite topics. Before you go, if this story inspired you even a little, hit that like button. It really helps more people find videos like this, and if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Join our little community of curious minds. We share stories that make you think, smile, and sometimes even question what success really means. And don't forget to tap that bell icon so you never miss when we drop something new. Because hey, maybe the real treasure isn't in Hollywood after all. Maybe it's in finding yourself again in art, in peace, in slowing down. So next time you feel stuck or lost or just tired of chasing what everyone else thinks you should want, remember Johnny's story. It's proof that you can always start over. You can choose to paint instead of perform. You can choose to live quietly instead of loudly. You can choose to be free instead of famous. And that's a kind of success no red carpet can ever give you. Thanks for watching, my friend. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care of yourself, stay curious, and keep creating your own version of happiness.